Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Matt.
Hey guys, I'm Beth.
Hey, I'm Jean.
Hi, I'm Nigel. Let's talk
About life and love in the middle school world.
Don't you love it when it's your turn to pick what to eat for dinner, what music to listen to in the car, or what movie to watch?
The freedom to choose what we want is so powerful.
We like having the freedom to choose, the freedom to pick out what clothes we wear.
Who our friends are.
What we watch on TV.
And how we use our cell phone, tablet, or computer. Now, I'm not sure if you have a cell phone or not, if there's a family computer you can use, or how many hours a day you are allowed to look at a screen.
But here is what I do know. You have more freedom with technology than you had 2 years ago, and you'll have more freedom 2 years from now. So, how do you think you're going to handle the freedom you have?
You want to know what's funny about technology? It hasn't been around that long. Cell phones and laptop computers have been around less than 50 years.
In small group, ask your leader if they had computers and cell phones when they were your age. Guaranteed their experience with technology in middle school was pretty different from yours.
But everyone has struggled with the desire for more freedom. Even people who lived hundreds of years ago in Jesus' time desired more freedom, even though they didn't have technology like we have it today.
The closest thing they had to a text message 2,000 years ago was a letter. Yep, that's right, a snail mail written with a quill and parchment letter.
That's definitely not a text. And think about it. There aren't any selfies of Jesus and the apostles at the Sea of Galilee.
No one was checking TikTok for the latest dance trend.
The disciples weren't texting their families as they were traveling. Nope. Leaders, there weren't even payphones they could use to call home. Clearly, wanting more freedom with technology was not a thing when Jesus was around.
So, if cell phones and computers didn't even exist when Jesus was on earth, how does he have anything to say about it?
If technology like we have today hadn't even been invented yet, what could Jesus really have to say about it?
And why would we want to listen to Jesus when he didn't even send a text or watch a YouTube video?
Because here's the thing, when we have freedom with technology, we have a choice at what we look at on our phones or computers.
The images we see on TikTok, TV, or Snapchat affect us more than we think. Believe it or not, what we look at over time actually changes us. And that's why Jesus cares about it. That's why he wants us to be careful with what we look at.
In the longest recorded speech Jesus ever gave, we see why he cares so much about what we look at. Good thing for us, his disciple Matthew took a ton of notes. He wrote all those notes down, and today we can read Jesus' speech in the book that Matthew wrote called Matthew.
In this speech that Matthew recorded for us, Jesus is talking about the 10 Commandments, the original laws that God gave to his people, the Israelites. You've probably heard some of the 10 Commandments. Do not murder.
Do not steal.
Honor your parents. Those are a few of them. So as he's going through these 10 commandments in his speech, Jesus gets to the one about adultery.
Don't commit adultery. And that means don't have an affair or have sex with someone else's spouse. He also uses the word lust. And in this context, the word lust means to be consumed with sexual desire.
So now that you've got the idea of what Jesus is talking about, here is where we will pick up in Jesus' speech. You have heard that it was said, "You shall not commit adultery." But I tell you that anyone who looks at a woman lustfully has already committed adultery with her in his heart.
Now, in this speech, Jesus uses the example of looking at a woman lustfully, but it goes for looking lustfully at men and women.
For everyone, Jesus is saying it is not okay to sleep with someone else's spouse, but he takes it a step further.
Although it's not right to have sex with someone else's husband or wife, he says there's more to it than just that. In this part of the speech, Jesus is talking about the challenge everyone has when you see someone that you're attracted to.
Now let me just say, there is nothing wrong with being attracted to someone. It's a very normal part of life for you to notice someone attractive and be interested. Being attracted to someone is never a sin. But Jesus says we have to be careful with what we look at because he's concerned with our hearts.
When we lust after someone, the attraction we feel for them becomes bigger, and we let our desire dominate our minds and hearts. Lust is when you stare and keep staring.
When you spend more than a moment looking at someone attractive and start to want more.
Or when you let your imagination take over and you just go way too far. Many of you in the room have come across an image of someone naked or nearly naked. That's not uncommon. And sometimes it's not even your fault. But the challenge comes when you see an image like that and you stare.
Search for more.
Zoom in.
Or go back to watch it over and over. When that happens, your attraction to that person crosses over into lust.
And what easier way to look and keep looking, to lust and keep lusting, than with technology?
It's possible you stare at attractive people for too long in person, but that can be kind of embarrassing if someone catches you. Yikes. But it's all too easy with technology. And the more freedom you have with technology as you get older, the more you might struggle with what you type into your search bar.
The people you follow.
Or the things that pop up on the For You page.
When it comes to seeing photos or videos of super attractive people, whether that's on Snapchat, YouTube, or even pornography, staring at and lusting over those images can corrupt your mind and heart. Not because being attracted is wrong or bad, but because when we become consumed with these images, we are unintentionally building up lust in our hearts.
And for some of you out there, you're not watching pornography, but you are always looking at beautiful people on Instagram or YouTube and trying to be more like them. You choose to watch so many videos on style and makeup and how to pose in photos and what outfits to wear that you end up feeling worse about yourself.
It's okay to want to look your best, but obsessing over these types of images makes you feel like you aren't good enough the way you currently look. In a similar way, your brain stores those images and starts to crave them. And what's even worse, you might even start to crave making yourself feel inferior, which is only hurting you.
As you can see, what we look at over and over affects us. And it all starts with the freedom we have with technology. Even if you don't have a cell phone or your own computer yet, let's talk about how you're handling the freedom you do have with technology.
Are you aware that you are the one that gets to choose what you look at? You have freedom. So what should you do with this freedom? Leverage your freedom for your future. Are you having a hard time keeping your desires in check late at night? Leverage your freedom for your future by putting your phone in the kitchen when you're going to bed.
Are you obsessing over images that make you feel worse about yourself after you look at them? Leverage your freedom for your future by unfollowing or muting those accounts.
The truth is that you are going to have a long life of being attracted to people and seeing attractive people in real life and on the screen. Leverage your freedom for your future by not letting what you look at build up lust in your heart. You have more freedom than ever before, so you have more choices than ever before.
When you choose to leverage your freedom for your future, you let your small group leader ask you about your search history so you don't face pornography alone. You have the choice to limit how much time you spend looking at makeup or fashion tutorials.
But you can leverage your freedom for your future by looking at things that lift you up. You can choose to delete, unfollow, or restrict certain apps, channels, or people that you follow that are corrupting your mind. What a great opportunity for you to be honest with people in your small group about what you look at most on your phone, your friend's phone, the TV, or a computer.
And today is the perfect time to choose what Jesus wants for us, to not let what we look at make our lives more difficult. Jesus wants us to be careful with what we look at. He loves us so much that he's given us the warning that what we look at changes us and might even corrupt us.
So instead of looking at things that corrupt, you have the freedom and the choice to look at things that only build up your mind and heart. And your small group is the perfect place to talk about all of that.
So, on your way to small group, think about the funniest video that you've seen recently.